Hey, everybody, welcome on in. It's time for Live at 5, and we have a special treat for you this afternoon. We have Debi from Dela Design Gifts joining us, and it is always a pleasure to have her on here. And tonight she is going to teach you how to make a hand-built napkin holder. Oh my gosh, I've seen them. They are so cute. If you're not familiar with DelaDesignGifts.com, you should be. She's doing 15% off automatic discount on her website, so go check them out. She's the one that makes these awesome cutters, you know, these bread cutters or toast cutters to make toast and bread plates. The stamps, look, I have a plate. Oh, look at this, a buffet of stamps. And all kinds of awesomeness. She also does a mystery box every month, and I have a few pieces from this month's mystery box, which I will be sharing in prime time, but I think Debi might give us a sneak peek. All right, well, I don't hold anybody up because I know she's got a lot to share, and I cannot wait to see what she has planned for us tonight. So let's go out and see how Debi's doing this afternoon. Hey, Debi, how you doing?
Hi, Jess. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me. We're going to make some napkin holders. Going to do several different kinds. I've been making these. I made some of these years ago and gave us gifts, and kept wanting to kind of reimagine the process a little bit, and just hadn't had time to do it till just recently. So I've got a kind of been all over the place doing lots of different styles, seeing what I like best, what works best. I'll show you lots of different cutter options so that you might already have the cutter that will work for this. And you might not even need a cutter. You might be able to make your own thing, but I'll show you what I've used and show you some of the options that I did. So the ones I've made here that have this kind of fun, like, whoa, why is it so big? Because it can be cute on the center of your table. And then you've got your cute little magic shakers that you put here. So it looks a little big when you're making it, but of course it shrinks down, and then you get your magic shakers on there, and it's kind of the perfect size for your table centerpiece. So I will show kind of how we do this style of them. And then, of course, you don't maybe want a whole lot on your table. So maybe you just want a really simple one. So this is one that I made for Christmas time. I've also made this style, and I keep mail and ours on our table there.
That's a good idea.
So that's kind of a cute, and you can do lots of different shapes. So I will show you some of that. And maybe you don't want salt and pepper on your table, or maybe you want something for your coffee bar. So here's one where I did the sugar and creamer. And this is still in greenware. My daughter actually made this. I'm very proud of her because she's not a potter, but I walked her through the steps on making this one. This is kind of the way I did the original ones, where this was a little bit bigger coming out here. I think I like it a little better this way than the smaller, where it doesn't come out as far. So you can kind of be your own judge of how. Here's another one with a smaller. This uses the same basic plate there, but you'll see I used a smaller here than I did here. On these, you are having to cut away here, but super easy to do still. So I'll kind of show you that. And we will get started. I move a few things out of the way. And get some clay over here. So I rolled out a bunch of slabs to get ready. Oh, here's one of my other magic shakers for the mushrooms. And if people don't know what a magic shaker is, I demoed these. Jess, it's been like 2 years, I think, hasn't it, since I did this demo? Yeah. So these were, Jess can probably tell us a little more about them, but in the 70s, I think they were popular to wheel throw. So there's no holes on top. They have this cone bottom, and basically you just up and then shake and it comes out. So that's why they're called magic shakers. And I suggest you go back and watch the class on that because it's a fun class and we can do lots of things with it. And I have salt all over my table now, so that was a big mistake.
Good luck, you know. Yeah, brush it off. It's all good. And I'll just throw out there, wheel throwers that are watching. I have a wheel throwing tutorial I did on magic shakers a while ago. You can watch that as well and learn to wheel throw them if you don't handle. But if you do both, you got everything.
You've got both. Absolutely.
The
I
best
made
of both
wheel thrown ones, but they didn't turn out all that great. So
they're a close one. They're a little tricky.
They're a lot of fun. So I am going to compress my clay on both sides. And at this step, we're basically just making our tray. And
I'm going to remind everybody. Let me remind everybody now, before we get too far into the broadcast, that I'll be moderating this and Debbie's going to be teaching. If you have any questions, just ask them and I will pass them on to Debbie if she's already answered it. I'm just going to type in the answer so we don't interrupt her so she can keep going making her napkin holders.
Perfect. Perfect. So we're using the rounded rectangle 6x12 from GR Pottery Forms. I actually made a few of these using the spherical rectangle as well. This was made using that, and it's a little small right here for the magic shakers. So it fits, but it's a tighter fit. So if you're using them for maybe your own salt and pepper shakers that are smaller and you have this, it does work, but this gives you a lot more space for the shakers that fits better. So I recommend using this one, but I've made them with both. So I wanted to throw that out there so that if people have one versus the other, they can know they can use it. And the cutters we used, I'm going to use this one here. This is the one I used on this bigger one that my daughter made. I used this on some of them. And I will post links to different ones. So it fits. It doesn't have as much of a lip when you use these. These were designed for the spherical rectangle. Any of these are going to work. And I will kind of link to all of them. So you may have one of these and it will work. This one we're doing is a newer one I come up with. It's called the loose scallop rounded rectangle cutter. So that's what we're going to use. I am going to use one of Jess's rolling pins for our surface. The daisy one is kind of a favorite.
The daisy one is so good. It goes with everything.
It goes with everything. And I made one.
I think it pairs really well to with yours too, with your design.
It does, yeah. I made one ahead of time that we may pull depending on where my clay's at, using this one. Just, you know which one this is? I don't remember the name.
Looks like the Minnie's lace.
It might be, yeah. Minnie's lace, okay. I've got that rolled out too, so. We are going to cut this out. I sometimes drape and then cut. This one, I don't know why I cut and then drape. I don't know that it matters either way. And I know there's a lot of classes on making the trays using GR Pottery Forms, so I won't get too in depth here, but if you have questions, Jessica or I can answer them. And I'm not going to put a foot on this one either. You can, but for time's sake, we won't do that. And I like to I have a barely damp sponge. It's not very wet at all. And this is one of the diamond core ones. I really like these a lot. And I'm just going to go in.
Are you loving those?
I love them. I really do. This purple one.
I've been using, the purple one is the one. I've used the other colors they have. But the purple one is like the one I always go to. And I really am loving it as well. Yeah.
I bought a second one of this one because when my daughter-in-law are here working, then we always want to reach for the same one. So I'm just smoothing out my edge, which is also kind of compressing a little bit into those scalloped areas. And then no problem. Thanks. Okay.
So folks were asking about all the cutters in the background that they saw in the other view. Those are all Debi's, you guys. That's her company, what she does. She makes those cutters. So, she's working on this piece, but at the end, we'll talk about those a little bit more.
Absolutely. And I flipped it over using a board, trying to not overhandle the clay with flipping. And I'm just doing the same thing to the backside. This kind of helps with my cleanup later on. And we will flip back. These are the GR Pottery Form flip boards, which are great. So basically, I am just going to eyeball where I need to be. I usually try and kind of get it from both sides. I try and look down as much as I possibly can. And I try and turn it and kind of look from every angle then. And that'll help you with centering it. So I think I've got it centered good enough. We're going to flip it. And I do very little piddling with these. I try and kind of keep it simple. I know a lot of people say that they have problems with losing the texture when they do this. And I see a lot of people actually using like a scraper or a rib to do that. I don't at all. All I do is come in on the sides a little bit, and I come in this way on the side. And I've not had problems with warping doing this. I know everyone kind of does it their own way. So this is just one option. And we could put our foot on at this point if we wanted one, but we're not going to do that. I've stamped my bottom. And then I am going to raise it up so that I can drape this. So now I can push that edge a little more so that it stays up straight instead of kind of bending that way. Okay, so we are going to set this aside. And like magic, I have another one already ready. It's probably pretty close to being able to come off. I'll set this aside still for a little bit longer, and we'll decide what we want to do for our straight up and down areas. So we could do the chicken. We could do the way this other one is done that I showed my daughter did. Basically what we did on that one is we took the same cutter we did and we did this top half part of it, if that makes sense. So basically we cut it out here. And I've also done, of course, the toast works perfect for it. The seashell, I think, would be a really nice fit. I haven't done that one yet. What do we want to do?
Or is it choose? People get to choose what you put for the center.
I don't know. Yeah. Should we do?
I know, you guys.
The chicken I did was the smaller one, and I really think it would be a lot better in a bigger chicken. So we could do that on this one. What do you think? Chicken or no chicken?
Okay,
I
like chicken.
Let's go chicken.
But
let's go big chicken and see what happens.
All right, big chicken it is. Big chicken. And those who are looking for these cutters, it's the scalloped cutters, the rounded rectangle, right? So it's the rounded rectangle scallop cutters.
Yes, and that is the loose one. This is the regular scallop here, and this is the loose scallop, which is the newer one. Same shape, I just kind of made it a little bit more.
Looser.
Looser. That's a good word.
Looser.
I have little boards of clay like everywhere, so. Okay, so let's go ahead and compress this. And we need 2 of these. Now, one thing to be careful about and to remember when you are doing the chicken or a shape that's not symmetrical is that if you put texture on it, you need to make sure you do one way and do the other way. You'll have to flip and do the back side without texture if you want them to line up properly. I mean, I guess they wouldn't have to. They could face different directions, and that would be cute, maybe. But
maybe.
I guess I just kind of automatically think symmetrical or the same.
And Debbie, are you using the Dark Star clay? Is that the?
I didn't ask Dark Star.
Yeah.
It is my favorite, and that is what is in these finished ones that I have done. It's all Dark Star.
That's the speckled that you have.
It's a speckled, yes.
Is that Kentucky Mudworks?
Kentucky Mudworks is who makes it.
Okay.
I'm going to do, this is one of my newer wildflower ones. I'm going to do it because I think it'd be a cute little base. I'm going to cut out kind of so I know where we're going with this. But I do want to roll before I cut so that I don't lose my shape.
And you're using your biggest chicken cutter for this?
This is, oh no, we go all the way up to a 16-inch. So this one I am using is 7 inches. Everything measures kind of the biggest point, so this is measuring across. I think the one I used on those others, I'm pretty sure was a 6-inch. So we will cut one out. And we have one. And this is where I said they'll be facing opposite ways if you cut it the other way. So we're going to figure out where we need to be. We're going to roll, but we're going to cut from the opposite side. Because we want it to face this way and not that way. So we're going to flip it and cut out. That way they're both, the design part is to the outside on both of them.
I think I'm with you. I like the symmetry.
I think so too. It could be fun both ways, I guess. But now we have them going that way and that way. And they will be back to back with each other. Okay, so let's set that aside a little bit. And I'll clean these up too. But let's see if our other piece, we need a couple of rectangles. And what I found here is to help with the warping, I've put an extra piece in here, and that gives it something to support up against. So it really, my first ones I was making, I didn't do this, and I was getting a lot of warping, and I think that seems to be helping. So I have, for the inside, a 2 1/4 by 4 1/2 inch rectangle. Obviously, you can cut your own of these. You can buy this one I have. It's under rectangles. We could go ahead and let's go ahead and texturize that as well. This is just giving a little extra support there. Okay. So we've got our pieces. Let's see if we can flip this out now. This is the one I made off camera, so I didn't make it real early, but maybe an hour ago. This clay does tend to set up pretty fast though. So yeah, that's holding its shape. Are we still only on the camera? Oh, okay.
You can use any. We can use both cameras for this. So,
Okay.
And we're going to be doing a giveaway tonight, aren't we? We're going to have a winner
Yes,
at the end of this broadcast. Did you guys know? Surprise giveaway. You never know when we're doing that on ClayShare. So you always should be signed up for our email list. Premium members, you're automatically entered. You don't have to do anything ever. You always are entered no matter what, even in surprise giveaways. But Debbie has so generously offered a $50 gift certificate, $70 for international folks. So even international people can win this giveaway. So if you're new to ClayShare, it's the first time you're watching, you should sign up for our email list. If you're a premium member, you're in. You don't have to worry about anything at all. And premium members, we have a little extra special something coming up in prime time for you. A little, because, you know, premium members get stuff. That's all I can say.
So that came out good. It's a little soft.
That looks great. Oh my gosh,
gonna hold its shape
it.
just fine. So I'm going to clean these up a little bit. They're just a little messy. Sometimes you get these boogers with the cutters. We don't go super sharp on our cutters because if we do, then we have to worry about breaking. And that's no fun. But they're pretty easy to clean up. And most of it can be done with the sponge. So we will do the same as we did before, where we'll do both sides here. I also try not to pick these up a whole lot and handle them. I think I kind of have been during this broadcast because, you know, it's different when you're in front of an audience to remember everything you do. But I try to keep them on the boards for flipping so that they do stay nice and straight. And that, of course, is another thing that will help with warping. Okay, set those aside. I probably should have cut some of those out earlier, because that may be where they're a little bit floppy, but we'll see. So this is my support piece. And basically I want to find the halfway point, which is really nice if you're using the scalloped cutters, because it will show you exactly where your halfway is. So we're just going to put this down. And one way you can do, let's see what I did with my cutter, to mark it if you want, you can actually put that down there and you can mark your spot where you're going to score and slip. Score and slip our piece here.
You know, I was thinking you're making these napkin holders that you have the empty spaces on the end. If somebody wanted to put a cylinder and attach it to the bottom, wouldn't that be a great thing for cutlery, for summer entertaining? You
I
could
have
one on each
the
end.
exact same thing.
You could take your napkins and your cutlery out when you're on the patio, and you don't have to juggle all these things. You can just carry that one cute tray and set it out there. And if you don't need two, if you don't need two cylinders, put flowers in the other end and have a beautiful vase in one end, and cutlery in the other, and then your napkins. Yeah. We're thinking the same thing.
I was thinking that, Jess, the same thing.
I love it.
Also, your vinegar and oil bottles, or just kind of whatever you like to have there. But I thought maybe a bigger one that had a spot for the cutlery and the napkins, and then maybe still a little bit of space for your other stuff. So we're just,
I love it. I think so many possibilities. I'm really excited.
I'm excited to see what everyone makes, because that's always my favorite part. So please, when you make something, tag me in it, post it. I want to see how everybody will do this completely different. They'll do different shapes. They'll do different designs and themes and all of that. So that piece is down, and these are a little floppy, so I think we're going to move on to something else while we let these set up a little bit. See where we're at on time. We're okay, I think. So basically this is going to go up against here, like so, and then the other side, and we will do a coil on the interior and the exterior. So I'm going to set this aside, and we will do some fun little napkin rings, because, maybe you want something fancier. So these are just kind of something like easy, fun to do. And I always like multi-purposing. You could cut out a rectangle. I know they're the easiest thing in the world. There's not much to it. But I made some with my plant stakes, and I thought that turned out really fun. So we'll use some of our scraps, and we'll make some of those. And this we do want soft clay for. And we want to go a little bit thinner than what we normally do. I rolled out 1/4 inch for this other stuff. So I'm just kind of stretching my clay a little bit. Jess, are there any questions for me?
Folks are mostly asking the sizes of things, and I'm just typing it in so that I can keep up, because they missed it. Let's see. We did have a question. Do you do custom cutters if someone has a specific design they want cut?
I don't, because I don't have the time for it. If it's something that you're willing to allow me to sell, and it would be a good seller, reach out to me, and it might be something I do and add to my website. But, if I make something custom, it takes me, a few hours worth of work, and that's a few hours for one product, whereas I could do a few hours and make, and sell 1,000 of them. So it's fun to do custom work. I wish I had the time for it, but I just don't have the time for it.
But the fact that if it's something that others might be interested in, that's a way for someone to get
Yes,
their thing
absolutely.
made, and then
Yeah.
other people to get it too. So that's
My
really,
wave
really a
cutter,
cool thing for the community.
my wave cutter design, it fits on an oval, and it's really popular. It's really cute. Jenny Lundet came up with that one, and she reached out to me and said, hey, you can have the design if you'll make them for me. So I made her one of like every size available, and she allows me to sell it, and it worked out great. So I think these would be really fun to do names on. So I have a new alphabet set that I just released yesterday. And this one is called Dreams. So if you go to, when you're on my website, at the very, like kind of at the top of the page, when you start going down on the main page, you will see new items. And you can click on that and it will take you basically to every item we have, but it will be in the order of our newest items first. So if you're ever just wanting to see what we've done new, you can always do that. So we're going to do a little stamping demo with the alphabets. Luckily, my name is nice and short. So when I do these, is that a good camera angle?
Yeah.
I usually, and this is a new set. Normally, as soon as I print out a set for myself, I write on Sharpie on the back, and I write the letter, and then I put an underline so that when I line them up, I don't accidentally do one upside down. And when I stamp my letters, I leave them in there. I kind of rock it back and forth, and then I leave it there. And then I take my next one and line it up, rock it back and forth. Unless you need to repeat a number or a letter. That kind of helps you with lining it up. So I've got them all there. Now I can pull them out. So a little bonus demo today. And then toilet paper roll. And I probably, oh, see, I messed up. I went too far. So I should have done my name over here, but we're just going to cut that point off. But that gives us an idea where we need to slip and score. Keep losing things. There we go.
We had a question. What do you use for work surface in your studio?
Well, I use the Jira Pottery Forms boards a lot, but I mostly just work on my tabletop. And it is a giant piece of birch that I got. I think Home Depot had it. It's unfinished. I haven't done anything to it. I think it was like a 4 foot by 10 foot or something for like $100, I think. And I had it cut to the size of my tabletop, which I think is 3 feet by 8 foot maybe. And it's nice because I have the whole surface and I don't, things don't roll off when you're working on a board. So I work off of it all the time. I've been using this for like 4 years now and never had problems with it not being sealed or anything. It's been great. Okay, let's try and put one of these up. It may or may not hold. I thought I was doing good prepping, but I didn't really prep my side pieces. So these may fall down on me, but it wouldn't be one of my videos if something didn't flop. So if you've watched my videos on ClayShare, you'll know. So
because Debbie keeps it real.
I keep it real, and I work with soft clay. I just do. So I'm usually waiting on it to get right, and I'm not as experienced doing videos live as Justice. So these are the low sponges. I think, Jess, do you use these for like your basket weave class maybe?
Yes, I do. For
Yes,
baskets.
you,
They're great
yes,
for making for
yes,
baskets.
you do.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
are also great for keeping your,
yes.
and that is why I cut this rectangle to 2¼ inches, because that's the best fit for this. You can almost go 2 inches, but it's a little tight and you don't really want it a little tight. So this is going to hold it up. These are at Lowe's in the tile section at my store anyway. They were not with sponges, but with tile. It's a 3-pack, which is nice because then you've got them for cleanup. You can make multiple cutter napkin things at the same time. We're going to score the bottom and up probably about 1/2 inch for our coil. And then we are, slip that. Let's see if I can go. I think this way would be easier for me to work. We're just going to put that up against there and press that in. I think this is a better size than the one I did. So you'll see that there. And I would normally wait until this is ready to stand up on its own and not have to be supported. But I will support it with that. That way I can do, because I'm not going to be able to do this inside coil right now. But I want to show you this before we run out of time. So then I would do a coil.
Debbie, do you use anything in your slip or is it just slip?
It is, I use water-free.
Do you use magic water?
I use vinegar, toilet paper, and bone dry clay.
So you make like a paper clay. Yeah.
So I make sure there's no water in there. And all those little boogers you saw me cut off of pieces, I just kind of push those to the side. And once they dry out, they go back in my, and then I have a big jar of the toilet paper and vinegar already mixed up so that I can just kind of add to my small jar whenever I need to.
Awesome.
So we are just going to do our coil here. I would go around here and smooth this out really good. And then if this were standing up, I would do the same thing on the inside. I would do it before I put the other one on to make it a little easier to get to, because once you put that second one on, then it's a little harder to get that last one in. It's not too bad. You can still get in there, but you'll do this one. You'll do that inside there, and then keep your sponge in for usually most of the day or even a couple of days. Don't go too long. That's why I like the 2¼ distance instead of the 2 inch, because it helps. Once this starts to shrink, you're going to have a hard time getting that sponge out, and you don't want that to happen, or it will crack. So be careful with that. The other thing I do, because I don't think we're going to get these on today, and we can do some other stuff if we have time. Once these are both on and standing up, I usually go this way with my sponge, and then I take a piece of plastic wrap and I just kind of tie it around the outside. And I can show you that on a different piece. Let's move this aside. How much time do we have, Jess?
We have about 15 minutes.
Okay. Well, we can do a few things. I can get that to stand up out of the way. So what I was saying with the plastic wrap is I have that sponge in here. This one's misfire already, but this will be a good demo piece to show how I do it. You'll see how tight that is now because it's already shrunk. But I take some plastic wrap. And I just come around here and just not real tight. And that's how I'm gonna let it dry. And probably here, my stuff dries pretty fast. I think faster than most areas. I will sometimes make something and fire it within like 4 or 5 days or a week. So I would leave it like this maybe for like the day. Depending on how tight you wrap it up, maybe you might go a couple days, and then I would take out the sponge. It won't be this tight, obviously. And I kind of just leave this there because I would rather it go in a little bit than start going out.
Bow out.
If it's bowed in a little bit, it's okay.
It'll hug your napkins.
It'll hug your napkins.
It'll hug you.
So this one definitely like hugs the napkins. It went in a little further. I probably took the sponge out a lot earlier on that one than I did on this other one. But it's better than, this is one I made like 5 years ago, I think. It holds our mail and it's pretty wonky. So it helps. It seems to kind of keep them somewhat level. So I was gonna do the plain ones as well. But we won't have time, I don't think, to do the whole thing, but we can kind of start on one and you can see how I make that a little bit different. That's where the 2 sizes of rectangle come in. I do one side on the bottom and then I do this one on the top, exactly like we did the bigger piece. That way I've got something to butt up against. Does that all make sense?
Does. We're getting a ton of questions about paper, toilet paper, and the paper
yes.
and slips and everything.
So I learned from Martha Grover, and that's, I think it's on her website. I don't know that I really follow a recipe necessarily, but she does, I think, tell how much to use.
And you guys, here's a little secret. August on ClayShare, we're going to be doing paper clay. So I will have 2 paper clay recipes for you all. We'll be making paper clay, using paper clay in some projects, because August is all about inclusions in clay. So we're going to be having a good time with that. So I let the cat out of the bag a little bit. I don't like to share, like to surprise everybody with the challenges and stuff. But I had to. Everybody's been asking for that to do paper clay for years, and I've been like, yeah, I'll do it. But I do big sculpture with it because it makes the clay lighter. So that's why we use paper clay. It's not so heavy.
That's great. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and show how I did the top on this. Let me move a few things out of the way. This top here, I'll show how we did that. That way you've got options.
Yeah, because folks were asking.
Yeah. So on this, I want basically the top half of this. And you could do the same one. You could do a shorter one. I think this one that's smaller, I think I used maybe this one, this smaller one, and I cut it off to here. So I love to repurpose stuff. So we're going to come to about here. And we're going to cut this out. I would decorate this first if I were doing that. And I would cut my second one. This clay might not be enough for that. And then I want a nice flat edge here. So I'll just come in, and those scallops are a nice guide that I can go the end point for each one. And now, because this is bigger than where my, let's use this one again as a sample. Let's just take that off of there for now. It wants to stick, but not that much. Let's bring this guy back. So now we've got a perfect match up here, but we've got to cut off these ends, these little corners. So we know it's 45 degrees because that's what Jeff's, the GR pottery forms are, is 45 degrees. You don't have a 45 degree in your studio, it's kind of nice to have one. This is actually from my drafting days, which was what I did before I started doing pottery. And we know we are at 4.5 because that's what our rectangles are, and that's the inside of the form. So this is 7. Oh, I'm going to have to do math on air. So 7 inches.
It's okay, everybody.
4.5 is 3. So we want to go 1.5 inches in. Roughly, it doesn't have to be exact because we're going to put a coil on this. So we're going to kind of mark in 1.5 inches. And we want to line up and cut off this 45 degree here. So there's one. And I can't hold my thing right. There we go. Nope, I'm still wrong. I'm looking at it wrong. There we go. So now when we do this one, same thing, we're going to put it in here like this, and we're going to attach, and we will coil the whole thing. We would wait for it to stand up. So that's how that one is done, the bigger design. Any questions?
Yay, you did so great. Yay. And you did the math.
We were a little all over the place, but you know, again, that's me.
I think it's real. It's really how it is in the studio, though. Everything is kind of all over the all over the way.
And it's always so hot here when I demo without an air conditioner.
Oh, I know. It always is hot for you.
It is. So I have a window unit in here, so
you do.
Yeah, and I can't run it though. It's loud. It's like, you know, it's a window unit. It's loud. It's right here. So, so I just like, sweat time. It's good for me, right?
so it's like, your sweat lodge. You're gonna get all the impurities out.
So I'm making it sweat.
Do you have your dreams alphabet available in a lowercase?
This one I have not made in lowercase. I don't know if I will on this one. I think Cozy is the only set I have in lowercase. This one does come with the numbers. I'll have to see if I can do a lowercase on that one. And I have another one I'm getting ready to do that matches. Oh, so this matches the pantry words. You'll notice the salt pepper shakers. I think we talked about these last time when we did the canisters. All the pantry words, we have kind of everything. We have like soap and dish soap and cotton balls and, you know, kind of everything. So this font is now, that's this font. So now you can kind of make your own stuff if something's missing or if you need to make something match these words. So then I also have a garden stake set of words, and that'll be my next font I release.
I have to tell you, whenever anybody says pantry words, it's like, oh, are you saying pantry words? That's so funny. Debbie, there she is using her pantry words again.
That's what we call them. So if you're looking for them on the website, search pantry.
Pantry words.
Trying to think if I have any other show and tells. I thought we might have time to at least show the top of this, but I don't think we will.
We got 5 minutes. I don't know. I don't think you have 5 minutes.
So this is the magic shaker, the tall shaker. And the cat, I have a cat one too, I made. So when you do these magic shakers, you use the tall cone. And basically, once it's formed, you're just going to take your knife and you're going to cut out there and then attach together, squeeze it together. And this one I cut kind of like this way and then kind of pulled that down a little bit. So I am demoing this or we were making them. It's not even a demo. We will make these in August at the
right?
Fired Arts Expo. And I will show you different ways of doing them. I have my mushroom ones. These are the ones we use at home, is this set here, the mushrooms. And it is just the tall magic shaker with a dome on top. So fun. There's
I love it. And so, yes, you can make the plain ones on ClayShare with the magic shakers. But in August, Debbie's going to be teaching along with myself and Paula McCoy and a few other awesome people at the Fired Arts Expo. That's going to be August in Wisconsin. So Wisconsin's the place to be. When I'm not doing inclusions in clay, August is going to be
the place to be.
Good. I know. So that information should be coming out soon, how to register for that and everything. But it's hands-on classes, folks, and you get to keep the things you make.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have a giveaway to do. So
I have a giveaway to do because Debbie is sponsoring a giveaway. So let's do that. Let's see if there's any quick questions, but I think we're out of time. We got 2 more minutes before I have to do a giveaway, but let me just look through.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Tips on how you glaze the red on the plaid, or is that going to be part of the class in August?
And another, because we can't get enough chickens, I brought more show items. And also a soup spoon or a spoon rest out of this is going to be adorable too. So make a spoon rest. I want to see them, post them. So on these, I don't get super neurotic about this. When I'm doing other things, I tend to get pretty careful. But when I'm doing this striping here, I'm kind of just quick. I should have brought one in, but I use a needle tip on the bottle for that. I fill in all of my main squares, and then I just take that and just do lines. And I don't worry about them being super perfect in the indentations. It's supposed to look like fabric. So it's supposed to kind of be, they don't have to be super perfect. And I do them very fast. It doesn't take any time at all to do those. Normally when I do something like that, I'm doing more the wipe back method. I'm putting it, filling it a little more and then wiping back. But on this, I just make sure with that needle tip, I'm kind of going faster so it's not going everywhere. And if it's not exactly in the indentation, I don't care. I will try and do a demo on that on my Facebook, because that's just a short little clip. I'll try and follow me on Instagram, because I think I'm going to do a giveaway on there as well. So if you're not following my Instagram and my Facebook, follow both. I just reached 10,000 followers fairly recently on Instagram, and I've been wanting to do a giveaway, and I just kind of keep forgetting.
10K giveaway.
So, now I'm at 10.2, so it's been a little while, but if you're not following me on Instagram, it's just Debi_Dela Cruz. Debi is DEBI. And on Facebook, it is Dela Design Gifts, pottery supplies and tools, something like that. I don't know, but it's pretty easy to find.
Just search for Debbie, you'll find her. You just find Dela Design Gifts, you'll find her. So awesome. As always, a fabulous demo. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for being the sponsor, and also for the giveaway, which we're going to announce the winner in just a second. So thanks so much, Debbie.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Stay cool.
All right, so that was an amazing demo on making a napkin holder with the chickens, and then she showed you the scalloped version. And of course, if you're going to be in Wisconsin in August, you should come to the class. Well, you have to register before, but more info on that as we get closer to it. So you can save 15% off everything on Debbie's website, which is deladesigngifts.com. And it's automatic. You don't have to do anything. That's one of the things she's doing as the sponsor this week. She decided to give you all a little present in addition to the prize to this lucky person right here. So this is going to be a $50 gift certificate. If you are international, it'll be $70 to help offset the costs of shipping, because we know how expensive it is to ship outside of the US. And to enter our giveaways, as always, you just go to ClayShare.com and sign up for our email list. If you are a premium member of ClayShare already, you are automatically entered. You don't have to do anything at all. So it's already taken care of for you. I do have a little something will be happening in prime time too for my premium members, but you got to wait till we get there to see what's going to happen. All right, so the winner of this $50 or maybe it's $70 gift certificate is Holly Brandt. Holly, congratulations. Put that up really, really close so you can see. You won yourself a $50 or maybe it's $70 gift certificate. And again, if you're not signed up for our emails, if you sign up now, then you just do it once and you're good. If you don't unsubscribe though, then you're not on the email list and I can't draw your name. So you got to stay subscribed. We only send one email a week. It's not a big deal. We're not sending a bunch of spam to you. It's one email unless something new and exciting is happening, which you want that email too, right? So maybe you get 2 emails a week, but usually it's just one. Sometimes Kevin forgets and you don't even get an email in a week and I have to remind him. I'm like, did you send the email last week? And he'll be like, I didn't send the email. I'm like, well, now you're in trouble, buddy. But sometimes that does actually happen here at ClayShare. All right, so awesome demo with Debbie. As always, I'm going to be kind of taking that a little further next in prime time, and we're going to be making what I'm calling magic plates. So here's a couple plates I used with Debbie's bread cutters. I used the medium size and small size. She sent me 3, so I'm going with large, medium, small, but I bet she's got different sizes. I'm going to show you how you can use any cutter that she has, or anything at all, to cut out a shape and to make plates. It's like magic. So I did the bread plates, and we're going to make these, and we're going to go ahead and glaze some too. So I've got making and glazing happening. I also made a pig plate. Debbie's got a little pig cutter. So here's my little itty bitty piggy plate that is currently drying. You can see his little feet sticking up there. He's so cute. So we're going to make some of those next, and we'll talk about all the different things you can make plates from. And this technique is a very traditional technique that I'm going to teach you, but we're going to use it in a modern way. So premium members of ClayShare, this is going to be for you if you're not a premium member of ClayShare. If you sign up, you can come join us live now, or you can watch the replay because everything is recorded and will be available for later viewing. All right, last piece of business I want to put out there is actually 2 things. A reminder that our Good Morning ClayShare broadcasts that happen for our premium members on Monday mornings are going to be on Tuesday for the month of June, because Monday's my wedding anniversary. So we're going to take the day off, and then we're going to be out of town on another Monday. So I just moved it to Tuesday for the month of June. And then the other thing I wanted to share with everybody is that Maria Sampson, who has done 2 fabulous sculptural whimsical garden stack workshops each summer. So this is the 3rd summer. She's doing one with us. So the 3rd part, or 3rd year in a row, she's coming back and going to be doing that June 22nd and 29th, 2 hours each Saturday, 4 full hours of instruction, and we're going to be doing sculpted birds. So sculptural birds. You don't need to take the first 2 to take the 3rd, but if you do, it kind of works in the series. So why not? You get the workshops forever, you know, and you can come back next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You have access to all of our ClayShare workshops forever when you sign up for them, and premium members do save 20%. So, okay, I know that was a lot more than one more thing, but I had to share it. All right, everybody. That's it for tonight. Premium members, I'll see you in a few minutes. Again, a super huge thank you to Debbie from Dela Design Gifts. Next week, we have Plum Island Transfers joining us for Live at 5, and you don't want to miss that. So mark your calendars. Next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you all. Be there or be square.